Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about season 2 of the show Shadow and Bone. Fun fact, this show actually combines the Shadow and Bone trilogy and the Six of Crows duology by Lee Berdugo. This season came out in 2023 and stars Jessie Lee, Archie, Renaux, and Ben Barnes, and was created by Eric Heisserer. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Season 2 of Shadow and Bone sees Alina and her companions trying to defeat the Darkling and take down the foe by getting amplifiers to strengthen her. The Crows, led by Kaz, are in Catterdam trying to take down Pekka Rollins, who framed them for murder and stole their precious Crow Club. The two groups eventually come together to help Alina take down the foe and to finally stop the Darkling. Shadow and Bone is a magical fantasy. It has similar vibes to The Witcher, Fate, The Winx Saga, or The Wheel of Time. In season 1 of Shadow and Bone, they blended the story of the Crows with the story of Alina so well that I didn't even know that they were two separate book series. I think that this season there was too much story stuffed into this season, with it splitting its time between the two groups since they each really had different missions in the beginning of the season. But I do think that this season was still a fun and entertaining watch. I do want to give a shout out to the title cards. Each episode had a different one, and I was excited on what I was going to see when I started a new episode. Alina this season is really set on taking down the foe, and I was really excited to see her do that. I think Jessie Lee is great in this role and really shows how determined she is to take on the Darkling. I do wish that she was more powerful because throughout this season, it was as if she wasn't powerful enough without amplifiers, and I was just confused on why the Darkling needed her power in the last season if it wasn't enough to take down the foe with just one amplifier. I'm glad that in the end she does take down the foe and takes down Kerrigan. I was shocked in the final scene when she created a weapon out of darkness just like Kerrigan used to, and wondered what that meant for her light power. It seems like her main story is over, so I'm interested to see what they do with her character in the future. Ben Barnes does so well as a villain. He speaks in his very low voice and is just very intimidating and a bit scary. I'm happy that he does get taken down, and I felt like he was a great foe and really didn't care who was in his path for world domination, not even his own mother. One thing I was thinking could have been cool was a longer battle between him and Alina that could really showcase their powers. Bagger is a real MVP, and I'm so happy she came back to help Alina. She is the best person to help Alina know her power because she doesn't sugarcoat stuff and she understands her son's motives and his powers. I was kind of sad that she dies because she wasn't scared of anything, but I'm glad that in her final moment, she helped them figure out the missing piece that they needed and injured her son. I mentioned that this season there was a lot of story, and I felt like they really put Matthias' story in the background this season. I felt like a more natural segue would have been the Crows doing a prison break after recapturing Catterdam, since Nina was on their team now and that was the most important thing for her. I think that these storylines might have been better if there had been a Six of Crows spinoff so that there was really time to let both of these stories breathe on their own. Don't get me wrong, the show is still entertaining, but there was just so much crammed in that could have been expanded on if these plot lines had time to do so. I also think that they need to add more reminders about locations because we get some basic foundation of where we are, but between the fact that this is a fairy tale and it's been a while since season 1, I think reminders of not only location names but distances would be helpful for the viewer to grasp how big this world is. Every new addition this season was great. We meet the Prince of Ravka, we meet siblings who kick ass, Toya and Tamar, and the Crows get a new demo man by the name of Wylan, as well as a few others on the evil side. I think these new additions added to the story in a positive way, and I love seeing them added into the fold. My favorite part of this season was the Crows. They are such an eclectic group of people who you wouldn't think works well together, but they do. We have the OGs and Cass, who you love to hate, and Nej, who I must say is the most badass character in this show, and Jesper, who is such a lovable character with some tricks up his sleeve. But we also got some new blood in Wylan, who becomes their demo man, and a new love interest for Jesper, and Nina, who is a heartrender who is trying to save her love. I love the stories with this team, especially seeing them work together and how successfully they always are. I'm glad that they are exploring that Jesper is a Duras a little more this season, and Kaz is giving Inej her freedom after so many years after being an indentured servant. In the end, when Kerrigan's people were attacking, I'm glad that they came to help because I just knew if anyone can take them out, it would be the Crows. I look forward to more of the Crows because they are just such a fun group to follow. Shadow and Bone Season 2 is a pretty solid follow-up to Season 1 with some minor hiccups. It takes you back to this magical world and thrusts you into the middle of some disagreements. If you haven't seen Season 2 of Shadow and Bone, then I suggest you check it out. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.